Thank you for stopping by Ballistic Barbecue. On this video, I will be making Asian-inspired pulled pork belly sandwiches, and we're going to be doing them low and slow on the Gator Pit. Let's get going. All right, I said Asian-inspired, and basically what I mean by that is I'm hitting Japan, Korea, Vietnam, pretty much all of Southeast Asia. Gives me the opportunity to kind of clean my cupboards out of all these fantastic Asian ingredients I've been accumulating. So let's get started off with a pretty basic rub. My first ingredient is going to be this. Now this is an umami seasoning that I made. I have the video linked down below. I'll link it again at the end of this video. This stuff is fantastic. And you'd be amazed at what this does to a traditional rub. Now, if you don't want to go through all this trouble of making the umami dust and everything, what I would suggest is just taking your favorite rub and adding a good tablespoon and a half of Asian 5-spice. That'll make a pretty big difference in your rub. I have here a 1/4 cup of smoked paprika, 1/4 cup of light brown sugar, 2 tablespoons of salt. This is kosher salt. I'm going to give this a little mix here to break up that sugar. Give it a good shake. And there we go, looks good. I'm going to set this aside. We're going to get those pork bellies out. All right, and here are my pork bellies. 2 of them, each of these weighs just a little under 3 pounds, and I have the skin on here. We will be leaving the skin on for this cook. I'm going to actually use that skin to help protect these pork bellies from the heat. Again, we're going very low and slow, and I want these to break down enough to where we can pull the meat. First thing I'm going to do is rub on some peanut oil. Now, if you don't want to use peanut oil, just any cooking oil will do, or cooking spray even. Now I'm also applying this to the skin, but this is more or less just to kind of protect the skin. We're not going to apply rub on the skin side. It will not penetrate skin. It's kind of a waste of time, waste of rub. All right, let's get this rub applied. All right, I'm going to set these aside and allow the juices to sweat through this rub, and then I'll meet you out in the backyard while I have the Gator Pit already preheated to 250 degrees. See you outside. All right, I have my Gator Pit preheated to 250 degrees, and we're burning peach today. I just thought with this kind of Asian thing going on, I wanted to use a nice light fruit wood. Let's get these bellies on. All right, I'm going to be maintaining this 250 degree temperature in my pit throughout this cook. Now after 2 hours, I'm going to start spraying these bellies down with mango nectar, and I'm going to spray them every 30 minutes. I'm guessing after 4 or 5 hours or so, these bellies will be ready to wrap. What I'm looking for is a nice kind of a mahogany color, a formation of the bark before I do the wrap, however. Now while we're waiting for all this cool stuff to happen, let's start making an Asian barbecue sauce. All right, for this barbecue sauce, basically what I'm doing is throwing together a bunch of Asian ingredients that I think really complement each other. We're going to start out with 1 cup of soy sauce, and this is soy sauce with the sodium in it, so we're not going to be adding any more sodium, or just salt at least. And I have here 1/2 cup of sweet chili sauce. That'll add a nice heat element and also a little bit more sweet. And on that note of sweetness, we have 1/2 cup of honey. One-half cup of rice wine. This is rice wine with the alcohol in there. 1 tablespoon of rice wine vinegar. 2 tablespoons of sesame oil. 3 fresh grated garlic cloves. About 1 tablespoon of freshly grated ginger, 1 tablespoon of fish sauce, 1 teaspoon of Asian 5-spice, and 1 tablespoon of my umami seasoning. Throw that in there. And what equates to about a 1/4 cup of palm sugar. I'm just going to get this all nice and stirred up, bring it up to a boil. I want this to simmer down to where it's kind of a nice glazed consistency. All right, and here is what I'm looking for. Nice kind of a caramely glaze coating the spoon. Nice. perfect amount of sweet, nice balance of savory, a little bit of heat hitting me in the back of the throat. I really like this. Smells unbelievable. It's going to really just make that sandwich. So I'm going to get this off the heat, let it cool down, and I'm just going to continue giving my pork belly some love. I'll see you probably when it's about time to wrap these guys. All right, we are coming in at just under 5 hours right now. I took a peek at those pork bellies, and the color's right where I want it. So we're going to go ahead and pull them and wrap them. Just look at that. Gorgeous, gorgeous. All right, get this guy down. Now I'm going to hit it just with a little bit more of that rub. Not a lot, just a little bit. Now I'm going to run just one bead of honey. This is that mango nectar that I was using. A little bit of mango nectar. Let's get this wrapped up. All right, and back on the pit they go. So again, we're still going to run it 250, and at this point I'm just checking for tenderness. I want that probe to go in and come out with very little, if no, resistance. So see you in probably an hour or two. All right, the bellies have been foiled on the pit now for right around an hour. I just tested them for tenderness with my little probe here, and they are done. It went in and came out like a hot knife through butter. Just so you guys know, I have not been testing temperature once on this cook as far as the meat temperature. But for those of you who are wondering, because I know I'm going to get asked, right now it's 199 degrees. And again, I was going more off of color and tenderness, and it's ready to pull. So what I'm going to do now is simply pull those bellies from my pit. I'm going to let them rest for about 30 minutes or so. We'll get it pulled. We'll make some sandwiches. I'll meet you guys in the house. All right, the pork bellies have rested, and I have to tell you, this is going to be insane. So we're going to go ahead and pull this. And look at this, guys. Just like butter. So what I'm going to do is just get some of the big pieces of fat out of here. A little fat's good, but we don't want to go overboard with the fat. And just strip it up into, well, strips. All right, the belly has been pulled, and it is like butter. In fact, I could do a video on the skin alone. The skin is crazy good, crazy good. Anyway, so set this aside. I have here a French roll. Like I said, I'm kind of going all over Asia, Southeast Asia, and in the tradition of the Vietnamese banh mi sandwich, I'm using a French roll. This has just been warmed up in the oven. Good stuff, good stuff. Some of this pork is so crazy moist. All right, now for some of that homemade kind of Asian-inspired barbecue sauce. Oh. Very proud of this, by the way. It tastes killer. All right, this is an Asian-inspired slaw that I made. It's got Asian pear, radish, some cilantro, red cabbage, and some Napa cabbage, finely minced kimchi, and an Asian dressing that I very lightly dressed it with. All of the ingredients for the dressing down below. And there we go. Asian-inspired pulled pork belly sandwich. Let's give this guy a go here. Ah, it smells so darn good. First of all, that five spice just really pops in the sauce, but the pork is just the star. I mean, I love this. Slaw, I'm really happy with the slaw. I have no complaints about this at all. I know it's not a traditional Asian sandwich, but I think I treated all the ingredients with respect. So, cheers to that. Anyway, guys, thanks for stopping by. I'll see you on the next video. Cheers again.